The Golden State Warriors just welcomed Jordan Poole back to the Bay by lighting up his Washington Wizards for 129 points in Chase Center. While I'm sure Poole was excited to return to play against the franchise that drafted him just to show them why they should have kept him, his revenge game simply couldn't stop the Warriors' new frontcourt duo of Trayce Jackson-Davis and Jonathan Kuminga from detonating all over the Wizards without protection.
Bruh.
At the rim. Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Switch Culture. Somehow, despite Steve Kerr's at times questionable rotation, the Golden State Warriors have begun storming back up the rankings and just extended their win streak to 4 games. The team's new lineup of Curry, Clay, Potts, Kuminga, and Looney continue to do damage, although I'm not so sure how much longer Steve Kerr will be able to keep Trayce Jackson-Davis out of the starting lineup. That's because 1. Looney only played 5 minutes in the first half and followed that up with only 6 in the second. 2. TJD just joined elite NBA company, being among only 3 rookies to have points and rebounds double-doubles in back-to-back games. The only other 2 rookies to accomplish this feat are, wait for it, Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. Jonathan Kuminga is somehow managing to look better and better every single game. He seemed to be unguardable against the Wizards as he did whatever he wanted and got whatever shot he wanted. As impressive as his scoring was, however, it wasn't even the most impressive takeaway from the game, as he had a few eye-opening plays, sealing off defenders and hitting his shooters in the pocket for open looks. His past couple of games have really been in stark contrast, as his mistakes have been minimal and his development has been undeniable. Klay Thompson started off a bit slow, but with Kuminga's help was able to get into rhythm and recover. There is definitely some type of chemistry developing between Jonathan Kuminga and Klay Thompson. This is something that Draymond talked about, and that little acknowledgement might be key to some of the things we're seeing happening today. And of course, let's not forget that Steph Curry didn't even have to play the fourth quarter against the Wizards, something that used to be commonplace back when the Splash Brothers were in full swing through the years the team had Durant. It hasn't exactly been commonplace since. This is the Warriors' 5th game without Draymond Green, and the team has gone 4-1 in that span. Wiggins was unavailable due to illness, and Gary Payton II is still out, along with Looney's total 11 minutes for the entire game. That's technically a big setback for the team's original starting lineup. Despite these setbacks, Steve Kerr brought out the entire bench after the blowout put the Warriors comfortably ahead by 22 points in the fourth. While all that is great though, the biggest story of the night were the refs. Ben Taylor's LeBron-esque performance was a masterclass as he was an indomitable force, managing to grab a triple-double against Golden State. BT finished the night with no less than 10 missed calls against the visiting team, one jiu-jitsu reversal which gets a 10-time multiplier against the Warriors MVP superstar Steph Curry, and somewhere north of double figures in foul calls against Golden State in an effort to keep the Wizards in the game. Skip Bayless had this to say about Ben's performance.
Last night was a virtuoso performance. It was the V word. He put the V word on that game last night.
No, he didn't, Skip.
It's been a long time since I've seen anything quite like this.
Let's take a look at the Warriors-Wizards matchup. But before that, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Swish Culture for the most analytical and entertaining NBA channel on the planet. So without further delay, let's get to it. With an at-home back-to-back on the horizon, the Warriors needed a convincing win over the Washington Wizards, and they needed this game to be finished by the third quarter. With Draymond out on suspension, the Warriors had to revert to Plan B and reject the birth of Stephen Curry's successor in Jordan's gene pool. All because Money Green couldn't keep cool. If you didn't get all of that, honestly, visualize. I literally put my brain in see-through. Really though, the Warriors didn't start out taking the game too seriously, and the Wizards got off to a rather quick start. A quick look at Looney's rim protection showed exactly what the problem was. It was a conga line to the Warriors' basket. Even Tyus Jones, who's barely 6 foot, was making a mockery of the first unit's rim protection. How is such a small backcourt doing this? After a few missed perimeter shots by Golden State, Curry finally hits. But it was time to take the chains off Kuminga. An effortless roll to the rim sends the slasher through the Wizards' defense like chainsaws in Texas. The extra pass to Klay shows real-time ball IQ development. Cue eyeballs from other GMs looking to acquire JK by the deadline after he and Steph lift the Warriors up out the first quarter. Overall, it was a total team effort as the ball movement is looking better and better each game. The second quarter came and JK returned to the floor and without hesitation knocks it down from deep, showing more confidence than Steve Kerr has in a random veteran the Warriors signed as a one-year rental. I mean, really. As if Poole wasn't down bad enough, JK hits a three in Poole's face after outright caving in his chest inside the paint. They switch Kispert onto him and Dr. J responds. Next patient, same treatment, as he sends Kispert to the maternity ward with this special delivery. With Kuminga and TJD on the floor, both Steph Curry and Chris Paul were having a field day throwing more lobs than Draymond's thrown games this season. Let that sink in. High lobs, hard lobs, soft lobs. Did the Warriors really replace the pool party in a game against Jordan Poole? Savage. For the first time this season, the Warriors are starting to look like a complete team. After the lob party concluded, Steph Curry took over to end the first half, and in the interest of being nothing but factual, I have to state that Steph Curry railed so many threes, LeBron showed up to the Warriors locker room to look for his mom.
Thank you.
Curry had to remind him this wasn't Cleveland, and it wasn't 2010. Curry continued his egregious acts in the third quarter and callously continued to bury the Wizards. His disrespect got so bad at one point, this man threw and connected on a lob to Looney. Let me be clear. If your defense is allowing Kevon Looney to finish lobs, let me stop. This game, even though it didn't seem like it, was out of control and over at the same time. Out of control because these guys weren't even taking the Wizards seriously, leaving Jordan Poole wide open for a three. On second thought, this might have been a subplot to give Poole a one-time cheap shot as reparations for what happened in the locker room at training camp last season. Nah, couldn't be that deep, though it did become clear that this is a setup. After Kuminga hit the entire Wizards defense with a pile driver, the Wizards thought they had a chance and came back with a three from Kispert and a nasty slam from Gafford. They were gassed. The Warriors moved to execute and started raining threes, hitting wide open elbow looks as the Wizards players watched like the rest of us. TJD pins another block, gets the steal, the board, and tore down the rim at the other end of the court. In the span of just a few minutes, this game went from interesting to over. Steph Curry never saw the light of day in the fourth quarter, a welcome sight on the first night of a back-to-back, and closed the night with 30 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, and 8 threes in 27 minutes. Jonathan Kuminga finished with 22 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, and 9 of 11 from the field. His efficiency is similar to his last game, and with this type of production, there's no question JK can be the secondary or tertiary scorer for Golden State moving forward. Don't forget, it was Swish Culture that told you JK was taking that leap when his summer workout videos came out. It was Swish Culture that told you he would take that leap when his preseason games came out. There's no fluke in his game. Consistent minutes yield consistent results. Klay Thompson finished with 20 points, giving your top 3 scorers a combined 72 points. And lastly, Trayce Jackson-Davis came through with yet another double-double, dropping 10 points, grabbing 15 rebounds on 5 of 7 from the field in just 25 minutes. The streak continues, and the Warriors are looking to make some serious noise if they continue with the TJD Kuminga front court. At the moment, it's purely out of respect why Looney has that starting spot, but at some point, the team has to reward its hardest workers. Although we still see some of the issues with Kerr's rotation as far as putting in players and shackling the team, they've won in spite of his coaching in many cases and not because of it. Should Kerr hand the keys over to the young players, or do the Warriors need to roll with the loyalty guys to have a chance of winning a championship? Post your thoughts in the comments below. But before that, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all your notifications so you don't miss any of my latest uploads. Thanks for watching. Till next time. Swish.